Hi, it's Ken. I wanted to share with you the three primary expressions of spiritual leadership that we encounter and step into in various phases of our journey as spiritual messengers. And I wanted to set the stage by talking about this in terms of the developmental stages of consciousness, because that gives us the context for these different expressions of spiritual leadership. If this is your first time on a video on the channel here, I invite you to subscribe if you haven't already and click the bell to be notified so you know every time I go live and new videos get posted, etc. And if this video resonates with you, please do give it a thumbs up or a like on whatever platform you're on. Okay, let's jump right in here and explore these expressions of spiritual leadership. So the first thing I want to explore with you is from the developmental stages of consciousness. And rather than talking about them using the labels that I've used in the past, I want to talk about them as it relates to our relationship with ourself. So the person who, and I'm just going to use stage one consciousness, probably the person in stage one consciousness isn't so happy. That the way that the person in stage one consciousness is experiencing the world is these things are happening to me. So everything feels like this to this person. And this could be a function of relationships, and situations, and also the world at large. This is stage one, okay? And there's a correlating expression of leadership that feeds into this. Yes, everything is happening to you, and now let's explore this in the polarity of what is good or what is evil, or what is good and bad, or the right way or the wrong way. This is the kind of leadership that expresses in this form. And we'll talk more about this in a minute. And then in the second stage of consciousness, everything is happening because of me. Oops. And this person is having this experience. So the way that they're interacting with the world is, I am setting an intention and it's going out. And so everything that I'm experiencing is originating because of me, right? And then there's the third stage of consciousness. And this is all about everything happening for me, right? Or through me. Totally different. Oops, not a blockhead. This is this experience. And let's just assume for a moment that the divine is above. So the divine is expressing through thoughts, through feelings, through being. Okay. And this is a totally different dynamic, of course, right? And so the leadership in this framework resonates with this. So again, it's happening to me, happening because of me, or happening through me, for me, in other words. So if we look at these expressions of leadership that are the result of this, a stage one leader or a type one leader is teaching and exploring and focusing on a dynamic wherein, because everything is happening to the person and the person is primarily identified in their disempowered separate self, some part of the leader is identified in the disempowered separate self. And the leader is saying, let me save you. Let me show you the right way to do this. Here's how you can create safety, right? Here's how you can be safe. It's the primary energy. Let's go back to the picture again. I'll just draw a new picture. Hang on. Here we go. Safety. That's the goal. The goal is safety. And the type 2 leader is saying, here's how we can create. So now the type 2 leader is saying, follow these instructions and you can create. You can make things the way you want. And it's all about creating your dream. It's the empowered separate self. This is disempowered. And then the third type of leadership is all about the expression of God through us all. That's the key. And if you want to think of it this way, it's God's dream. But in this case, we have to be clear about it. I want to be clear about it. God's dream is not a dream we know. It's the unknown of God's dream, God's expression. And the premise from this perspective is the divine is moving through and as each one of us. So each of us are this undistorted expression of divinity. Very, very different perspectives in leadership. So somebody who's teaching or working or leading from a dynamic of this type 3 leader is inviting others to explore in what way the divine is expressing. But this is absolutely key. It's not just expressing through some of us or some of us that meet this certain criteria. It's all of us. So now the polarities of the type 1 and the type 2 leader are gone. The type 1 leader is saying all of us who follow these rules, right? Now we're going to get something good. The type 2 leader is saying if you do it the right way, you'll be able to create what you want. And how will you know that that's working? When you're creating what you want. Type 3 leader is saying the divine is moving through all of us equally. And here's how we can have a deeper experience of that. And because the divine's expression is unknowable, we don't know what that looks like. We don't know what God's dream is for us, but we can open up to it and allow it to express. 3 very different expressions of leadership. There is a fourth expression of leadership. It's difficult to talk about, though. It relates to the fourth stage of consciousness, which is union consciousness. And I want to set that aside for now. I want to focus on that. It feels to me like these 3 types of leadership are much more accessible in how we might talk about them, and most importantly, how we might embody them as spiritual leaders. That's it for today. I just wanted to share with you these 3 quick insights into 3 primary expressions of leadership that are available to each of us as spiritual messengers. If what I've shared with you is resonating with you, please do give the video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Of course, I'd love to see your comments below, and I'll interact with you through those comments. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be connected in this way, and I look forward to being back with you again soon. Have a beautiful weekend. Peace.